Welcome back. Every single new business faces the exact same terrifying question. How in the world do you go from zero to actually finding customers, and fast? Well, today, we're going to break down how one startup did just that, hitting 9x growth in only 6 months, basically by flipping a huge marketing myth completely on its head.
So, I want you to imagine this. You launch your dream business. You've got the skills, you've got the passion, but when a potential customer looks you up online, they find this, a big fat zero, nothing. That was the starting point for the company in our story today. They were a complete digital ghost.
And, that really leads to the one question that keeps every founder up at night. In a market that's already so crowded, how do you possibly break through all that noise and get in front of real customers when you're starting from nothing?
All right, so let's get into our case study. We're going to look at exactly how this one company stared that challenge right in the face and pulled off a massive turnaround. So meet Renovator.cy. They're a new renovation business based in Cyprus. And when I say they were starting from a blank slate, I mean it. Zero online presence, no authority with Google, no customer reviews, and absolutely no leads coming in from the internet. The phone was not ringing.
So their challenge wasn't just some vague goal like get more website traffic. No, it was way more specific. They had 4 key things they had to nail. First, get known in their local competitive cities. Second, attract leads who weren't just browsing but had high buying intent, people ready to hire someone right now. Third, they needed to get traction fast to survive. And fourth, they had to do it all without dropping a ton of cash on ads.
So, how did they actually pull this off? Well, it wasn't luck. It was a really clear 5-step playbook that was designed for one thing and one thing only: rapid local growth. Okay, so their whole strategy was built on these 5 pillars that all work together. It started with finding the exact search terms real customers were using. Then they built specific web pages for each local city they served. After that, they made sure the website itself was fast and easy to use. Then came the content plan to build authority. And finally, getting votes of confidence from other local sites. You see, this was a complete system, not just a random checklist.
And here's why this plan was so smart. Every single tactic was tied directly to a business goal. So keyword mapping wasn't about getting random visitors. It was about finding people searching for things like kitchen renovation Limassol, folks with their credit cards practically out. The local pages weren't just content, they were like a surgical strike to dominate search results in their key cities. Every move had a purpose.
Right? So they had a plan. But the real question is, did it actually work? Let's get to the results. And this wasn't some slow multi-year marathon. This was a 6-month sprint. And the timeline shows you just how fast a smart strategy can start paying off.
The results? They came in fast. I mean, within 7 days, Google had already put them on the first page for some of their local search terms. 2 weeks in, they got almost 50 clicks from people searching for their exact services. By the 3-month mark, that online visibility was turning into actual business. Bookings were increasing. And by 6 months, they'd hit #1 rankings and were getting over 400 potential customer clicks every single month, all for free.
And all of that hard work, that smart strategy, led to this: a 9x increase in their business in just half a year. We're not talking about vanity metrics here, like website visits. This was real, tangible growth, driven almost entirely by showing up in search results. They went from being a digital ghost to a 9x success story.
Now, this is more than just a feel-good story. There's a really critical lesson buried in here. It totally challenges a common myth about what it really takes to grow a business online today.
There's this idea out there, this myth, that SEO is a slow, lumbering beast that takes years to pay off and is really only for big companies with deep pockets. But the reality, as this case shows, is the total opposite. When SEO is focused, when it's targeted locally, it can deliver results in weeks and be an absolute game changer for a startup on a tight budget.
And this quote just nails it. SEO isn't slow when done right. It's strategic. It's not about trying to go faster. It's about having the right strategy from day one that's designed to create that speed. That's the key. So we've seen how this worked wonders for a renovation company in Cyprus. But the real question, the one that matters to you,
is. How can you apply this?
And here's the most important takeaway of all. This wasn't a fluke. The model Renovator.cy used is basically a blueprint. The core principles, targeting high-intent, local customers with a focused, multi-layered plan, that can work for just about any local business, whether you're a real estate agent, a baker, or a plumber. It's a replicable strategy, not just a lucky break.
So let me leave you with this final thought. What if your biggest growth opportunity right now isn't about finding a bigger ad budget, but about finding a smarter strategy? Thanks for tuning in.